Have you ever wondered why security matters so much in the world of cryptography? Well, let's take a moment to unravel this mystery. At its core, cryptography is the craft of securing communication and information. It's a vital element in the backbone of numerous systems we rely heavily on today. Consider banking transactions, internet browsing, even military communications. They all depend on cryptographic security to function smoothly and safely. Without it, these systems become vulnerable, exposed to serious threats such as data theft, fraud, and espionage. Imagine a world where every online transaction you make, every confidential email you send, and every top-secret military communication could be intercepted and manipulated. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? That's the world we'd live in without the security provided by cryptography. So in essence, cryptography doesn't just secure our data, it secures our trust in the digital world. Without a robust security framework, our digital world could easily descend into chaos. Now let's delve deeper into the dark side of cryptography, the security attacks. In the realm of cryptography, there are several types of security attacks that can compromise our data and systems. Understanding these attacks is key to building robust defenses and maintaining the integrity of our information. Let's break down the four main types of attacks. First up, we have ciphertext-only attacks. As the name implies, in this type of attack, the attacker only has access to the encrypted message or the ciphertext. They have no idea of the original message or the key used to encrypt it. By using statistical analysis or brute force, they aim to decipher the original message. Next, we have known plaintext attacks. Here, the attacker not only has access to the ciphertext but also knows a portion of the original message. Using this information, they try to figure out the encryption key and thus decrypt the entire message. The third type of attack is the chosen plaintext attack. This is a more sophisticated attack where the attacker can choose a plaintext and obtain its corresponding ciphertext. The goal is to find a pattern or correlation between the two to break the encryption algorithm. Last but not least, we have chosen ciphertext attacks. This is arguably the most powerful and complex type of attack. Here, the attacker can choose a ciphertext and obtain its corresponding plaintext. This can potentially expose the encryption key, opening up the possibility of decrypting all messages encrypted with that key. These attacks can have far-reaching consequences, from exposing sensitive data such as personal information or trade secrets, to enabling unauthorized access to critical systems. These attacks pose significant threats to our digital world. It's important to remember that the world of cryptography is a constant battle between code makers and code breakers. As encryption algorithms become more complex, so do the attacks. Understanding these attacks and their potential consequences is the first step in building effective defenses. As you can see, these attacks could potentially compromise our important data and systems. One type of security attack deserves special mention: the man-in-the-middle attack. This is a cunning and insidious form of attack where the hacker positions themselves, metaphorically speaking, between two parties attempting to communicate. The attacker intercepts and can potentially alter the information being exchanged. Imagine two friends, Alice and Bob, passing notes in class. Unbeknownst to them, a third party, Eve, has intercepted their notes. Eve can read, alter, and reseal the messages before passing them along. Alice and Bob believe they're communicating securely, but Eve is controlling the conversation. This is what makes man-in-the-middle attacks particularly dangerous. They hijack trust. But fear not, there are defenses. Public key infrastructure, or PKI, and secure protocols like HTTPS can prevent these attacks by ensuring that you are communicating with the intended party and not a mischievous interloper. The man-in-the-middle attack is a wolf in sheep's clothing, sneaking in and intercepting your secure communications. But fear not, for every security threat, there's a countermeasure. In the world of cryptography, we're never left defenseless against security attacks. There are several countermeasures that we can employ, and today, we're going to discuss a few of them. First up is encryption. Encryption is our primary line of defense. It scrambles our data into a form that's unreadable to anyone who doesn't have the correct decryption key. This makes it extremely difficult for attackers to make sense of any data they might intercept. Next, we have two-factor authentication, often abbreviated as 2FA. This countermeasure requires users to provide two separate pieces of evidence to verify their identity. Usually this involves something you know, like a password, and something you have, like a mobile device. Two-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security, making it harder for attackers to gain unauthorized access. Then, there's the use of secure protocols. Protocols like HTTPS and SSL/TLS ensure that data is securely transmitted over the internet. These protocols use encryption to protect the data during transmission, making it more difficult for attackers to intercept and read the data. Lastly, let's not forget about regular updates. Software and hardware manufacturers regularly release updates to fix vulnerabilities in their systems. By staying updated, we ensure that we're protected against known vulnerabilities. This is why it's so important to keep your system and software up to date. Now, these are just a few of the many countermeasures available to us. It's important to remember that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. The best approach is to use a combination of these countermeasures based on your specific needs and the type of data you're handling. Remember, the best defense is a good offense. Stay informed, stay updated, and stay secure. So, we've journeyed through the intriguing and sometimes murky waters of security attacks in cryptography. We started by emphasizing the crucial role of security in cryptography, highlighting its importance in protecting our digital world. From safeguarding confidential data to ensuring secure transactions, cryptography is our first line of defense against cyber threats. We then ventured into the realm of security attacks, exploring various types, with a focus on the notorious man-in-the-middle attacks. These attacks, as we discussed, can intercept and potentially alter communication between two parties without their knowledge, posing a significant threat to data integrity and confidentiality. Finally, we looked at countermeasures, the preventative steps we can take to guard against these attacks. We learned about the implementation of secure protocols, encryption techniques, and digital certificates, among other methods, to bolster our defenses. As we navigate the digital world, let's remember to keep our cryptographic shields up and stay vigilant against the ever-evolving security threats.